For the rest of my life, I'm going to have to cope with the fact that my employers can put my name into Google and see it attached to pedophile, wife-beater, sexual predator, numerous other ridiculous allegations that Durian Rider made. It's quite possible this will have real negative impacts for me for the rest of my life.
So now Durian Rider has accused another man of being a paedophile, and has threatened the other man with violence and bodily harm.
He's accused a guy named Isel Mazard of pedophilia, possibly rape, and he's actually gone a step further and threatened him with physical violence, saying that he's going to hunt him down, beat him up, kidnap him, get some of his followers to help.
Basically, Harley said some terrible things, and with no evidence whatsoever, and then encouraged his followers to do illegal things.
So Isel Mazard is another YouTuber who has been targeted by Harley. And the reason I want to go through this situation is because it clearly illustrates how Harley projects his own behavior and actions onto others. It's called psychological projection. And Don Bauer, who you saw in part 1 and you'll see more of in this part, happens to have a background in psychology, so I'll let him explain what psychological projection is.
There's a great thing called projection. Because I come from a psychological background. I'm a fully qualified clinical psychologist. Psychological projection is a theory in psychology, and again, we're talking about theory, not like, oh, I think it's an idea. It's like, no, it's actually something that's been studied. Is a theory in psychology in which humans defend themselves against their own unpleasant impulses by denying their existence. Well, here's a big one, attributing them to others. For example, a person who is habitually rude may constantly accuse other people of being rude. So that's psychological projection. It is a psychological defense mechanism where we either have guilt or we are shameful of our own impulses, our own desires. Therefore, we project them against other people, and we can shame our impulses by imagining them on other people and project your external disgust on your internal desires on an external person.
So that's psychological projection, and I want you to keep that in the back of your head throughout this whole video, because if you want to know what Harley is guilty of, you can just look at what he accuses others of, and it's pretty disturbing how accurate it is.
But Durian Rider made a post in his group saying that this dude named Isel Mazard is again a sexual predator. Yet again. Projection much? Supposedly he has been asking for money from teenage girls in the vegan community and sex. If you see him in town or know what hotel or apartment number he is staying in, then please tell me. Until we can confirm anything, let's keep it relatively non-violent. Relatively.
Let's keep it relatively non-violent. What the hell does that mean, Harley? What the hell is going on? Let's keep it relatively non-violent, so if somebody punches him out, it's okay?
We will citizen arrest him and hand him over to the Thai police. If they don't do anything, then yes, we can serve justice to the amount we feel is fair.
We feel is fair? Who the hell made you judge and jury?
We have a large number of very trusting young women in our community, and we want to set a loud example that predators would be better off avoiding our groups at all times, and if they want to prey, then we will prey on them harder and faster.
Claiming that I'm a pedophile, that I'm a sexual predator, that I should go to jail.
Do I think he's a sexual predator? Yes.
With absolutely no basis. And even in terms of the timing, you know, not only was there no possible victim, I hadn't even met anyone talking about it. I'd been in Chiang Mai for maybe 2 days when these allegations were made. And it's like, allegedly, I, you know, approached multiple teenage girls or something. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
This cunt looks suspicious. He looks fucking dodgy.
He messaged a lot of young girls, a lot of girls in my community that I've created here in Chiang Mai, in Australia, international, the Royal 4 community, hundreds of them.
Please explain why you've contacted hundreds, literally hundreds of girls in my community.
just talking all sorts of shit to him. Creepy shit. So this girl has been cyberbullied by this Isel, and he was kicked out allegedly by his estranged wife because she felt unsafe in the marriage, allegedly, from what I hear on the media, etc. So this is a guy who's creeping around with teenage girls, and I was definitely justified in calling him a sexual predator, feeling that because he was harassing these girls. And he just harasses them again and again and again, and stalking them again and again and again, video after video after video, and going after it again and again and again and again. That's harassment. That's cyberbullying. And there's only one thing that a 38-year-old guy is doing when they're contacting 16-year-old girls on the internet. Then that's really, really, really disgusting and disappointing that you'd support someone like this who has no positive intention to be in community other than harass and cyberbully women, young women. What do you think of a 38-year-old creep who's ditched his single mother of his child, who claims to be a loving father, and he's spending time on the internet trolling teenage women and harassing them? But his wife allegedly had to ditch him because of fear, domestic violence or whatever. He looks creepy, doesn't he? And I was right. I was fucking right, and I knew it.
They accuse you of doing things that you're not doing. So this is also called projection, and projection is in this type of dynamic where one person is taking their thoughts and feelings and actions and then projecting them onto another person. And it tends to be very specific. So the narcissist might be accusing their victim of some form of lying, cheating, stealing, or manipulating, some sort of destruction in their life.
I honestly can't believe I'm having to say this, but no. Aizal Mazard Abalasiel is not in Thailand, Chiang Mai, seeking money or sex from young girls who are part of the Rotor 4 Thai Festival, or anyone at all whatsoever. I can't believe I'm actually having to sit here making a video to vouch for this guy against Dream Rider.
And the thing is, they tend to be very worked up about it. I mean, really, really agitated. But what's really going on is the narcissist is accusing the victim of everything that they're either thinking about doing or that they're actively doing.
When you want to like say, oh, these people aren't too bad, they did nothing to me, but then you deny what they've done to other people recently. We're talking current fucking events where no justice has yet been served. Justice needs to be served in those situations.
Where's your proof, Durian Rider? Where the hell is the proof? This man, Abalasiel, there's not a single victim coming forward. There's not a single woman making any allegations. Basically, Durian Rider just made the whole shit up.
It's mind-blowing. Like, this is what we're dealing with in 2016 in the vegan movement. This is what it's come to. This is the kind of influence that he has, and this is how he is using it. This is how he is abusing his power to act like this. What is he, like a 38-year-old grown man is acting like this? This is what he has brought veganism to? This is what he hopes to achieve in the world?
This whole concept of projection, to me, is really one of the three major warning signs that there's something really off in this dynamic with this person.
After what Dream Rider said this time, enough is enough. We cannot let this continue to happen. We cannot let person after person be treated this way.
It's important for people to realize that the bullshit's gotta stop. You can't just fucking make fake rape allegations against someone.
Not only is this just totally out of line and illegal, but Durian Rider is being a complete hypocrite here. Him and Freely made a big deal out of Tana Mongeau calling him a pedophile way back when, a few weeks ago, and now he's made up some story calling someone a pedophile just because he doesn't like them.
If you're going to contact teenage girls, underage girls, out of the blue, on the internet, say, hey, you coming to Chiang Mai, where are you going to stay?
Was that out of the blue? I don't think it was. He was communicating with girls. We were already on YouTube. So that's bullshit. If I knew young children were going to festivals organised by this person, I would be contacting them as well and going, do you know what kind of person this is? Do you think it's safe for you to go? Are you prepared to deal with whatever bullshit he comes up with? I think, yeah. Good service, warning children. The psychotic behaviour that this person has, the mental instability of the organiser of this event. Yeah, contact underage girls and let them know the danger that they're walking into.
So the teenage girl Harley was talking about is Julia Bauer, and she was completely brainwashed by Harley and followed his diet and everything, and people were genuinely concerned for her well-being.
Because I can smash in as much rice and jam and sugar and whatever good stuff I can, vegan pizza, without having a drop of guilt and knowing that I will be lean anyways in like a couple of years.
Julia Bauer is a unfortunate girl who, I shouldn't say unfortunate girl, but a girl who was very slim, then joined the Rotel 4 high-carb vegan diet, ballooned up. As she says, she gained 50 kilograms.
You want to add refined sugar to your whole foods, to your fruits. So if someone wants to be lighter, leaner, they need to be catabolic and carb the fuck up.
I'm not really confident in coming out of this, but I got my blood test and I have high triglycerides. And lots of people said that...
Because you're fucking like... That spikes your high... My triglycerides, I can feel it elevating just talking with you.
Because I saw your blood test, you have like 70 triglycerides, I have 223.
There you go. Because would you say, if I'm a dog in the you got to pack a little puppy dogs in a pen, would you say I'm a hyper puppy dog or more of a chill puppy dog?
More of a chill.
Yeah. So if you want to chill your triglycerides, you need to be a chill puppy dog.
If you want to lower your triglycerides, you have to be a chill puppy dog. Durian Rider, 2016. If
you want to spike him...
So you think my triglycerides are high, not because of the sugar, but because of the...
fucking... You don't listen to fucking anyone else but us, Julia. You listen to me, you listen to Freely, everyone else is white noise, is
but
sincere,
they are people from this community.
Doesn't matter, you listen to the directors. You listen to the king and queen. You don't question.
So the refined sugar is not like, I don't need to cut out the refined sugar.
No, the issue's not sugar.
16, bruh! 16! Oh, if any of you know about that, just keep it to yourself. It was the most cringe-worthy thing you've ever seen.
How old are you? 16?
16.
16!
So this girl, Julia Bauer, gained a shit ton of weight following Durian Rider's advice, eating high amounts of processed sugar, which also elevated her triglyceride levels. Durian Rider says that's just from stress, and not the high amounts of processed sugar she's eating, which also resulted in her weight gain. And when Julia questioned the advice Durian Rider was giving, as clearly it's not working for her, Durian Rider says, nope, just keep adding processed sugar to your diet. Don't question anything, just listen to Daddy.
I don't do the split.
Don't interrupt Daddy.
Don't interrupt Daddy.
The split.
Don't interrupt Daddy.
What's really sad is that after Julia gained all this weight, Harley made her say that she had never followed his diet, even though she had pretty much documented it on her YouTube channel. Later in the series I'm gonna show you how Harley blackmails people to make them say publicly whatever suits his agenda.
A lot of the critics, Harley, would say that, you know, you're calling Aysel Mazard a pedophile, you're saying that he was preying on younger girls, you're saying that he was contacting younger girls, you know, and whether that's true or not, the reality is that you're actually hanging out with Julia Bauer and giving her the diet advice. People will criticize you for saying what you said about Aysel because for the simple fact that you're the actual one that has the contact with her. You know what I mean? Yes. So can you understand people's perspective on that?
100%. And here's the analogy. I'm the school teacher. This Raw to 4 Bike Fest in Chiang Mai is my little school group. Aysel, the fucking scumbag weasel, fat-wristed, happy meal-faced fucker, he's coming in from the outside into this school group. Alright?
Yeah.
So this is during my daddy, the teacher. Kids, this is what you should eat. Go ride your bike, go to bed, it's late. Aysel's coming in on Facebook. Hey, what are you up to? Where are you staying? Does that make sense? So I'm in contact with his kids, but he's coming in the group. He's just a fucking, just a sleaze bag. And when he contacted Julia, and she contacted me feeling scared, I was like, I looked at this Aysel, and I'm almost 40 years of age. I'm pretty experienced with my shit cunt radar.
And because of Harley's accusations, both Julia and Aysel showed the correspondence between them, and it was nothing sexual or creepy or predatory about them at all. If anything, they're more embarrassing for Julia because it showed how brainwashed she was.
He sent messages to Julia Bauer, and it were really friendly messages, pacifistic, nothing sexual about it at all. Basically, Julia Bohr said funny things back and he was laughing, and it kind of like she was pretty aggressive in her messages back. But then Duran Rider took it all out of proportion, started having these accusations immediately, like he's asking money from teenage girls, and then also saying that like he is like a sexual predator, or for example trying to lure teenage girls in, which is completely insane. But now he is slandering someone with allegations that aren't really small, like abuse of like teenage girls and stuff. I think that's fucked up.
You called this guy a pedophile. Did you see the emails between the two of them?
Yeah, and did you see the
so
conversation?
How would that insinuate that someone's a rapist?
She came
or a
to
pedophile?
me.
And what did you do? You called someone a pedophile.
I said,
are you the court of the law? Are you above the law? I don't think so.
So that's the thing, man. That's why
it's done right there. You can't do that.
Harley called him a pedophile because he took it on his own accord to be the police in the situation of Isel contacting a girl who was 16 and was talking to her and trying to get her off during Harley's advice.
So I wrote this email to Julia. I'll say why in just a second. The email just reads, this is the whole thing. Hi Julia, I saw your references to Doi Sutep. Are you going to Chiang Mai or Thailand this year? By the way, you might get a kick out of some of my videos. It's the link to my channel. Now, I mean, here's the problem with Duran Rider's influence. Her reply is, and I quote, "What do you want from me, Isel? Are you trying to turn me against Duran Rider? You got the wrong person, mate. Fuck off." So, you know, you try, but if that's the response you get, it's all right. You don't try anymore. So my reply was simply to say, Julia, in 5 years, you're going to look back at this and laugh at yourself. The fact that you're the type of person who responds to an email like that by telling someone to fuck off, you know, I think 5 years from now, you're going to look back and laugh at yourself. Not cruel, not mean, not provoking anything, but I assumed that was the end of the conversation. Julia writes back, yes, I'm going to laugh at the fact that I ever doubted this lifestyle and wasted my time on this shitty conversation. Oh, I should mention, by the way, I'm only posting this publicly because she already did. She continues, haha, we all know you're not vegan. You're just a stupid fuck and a hater who's jealous of DR's success. Haha. It's good she included the haha there, because otherwise I wouldn't know she was having fun. The problem, what I see for her, is the ego trip, is that cult-like effect that the Duran Rider and Freely thing has on her. But I think she'll grow out of it. And I mean, the last thing I said to her, I sent one more message where I just said, look, I revised my estimate. Instead of saying you'll look back on this in 5 years and laugh, I think you'll look back in 5 months and laugh. And that's not an insult, you know. It's a compliment.
So after both Julia and Isel had showed the messages, Harley decided to put his own spin on the situation, and this really shows how Harley manipulates situations. And again, this is after the messages has already been shown.
I've covered the girl's name because she is underage. I saw your references to Doi Sutep. Are you going to Chiang Mai? This is Dr. Eva writing this. She's asking a 16-year-old girl, are you going to Chiang Mai? And there's a few other follow-ups, where you're staying, etc. The young girl, the 16-year-old, started to feel a bit scared. She felt creeped out. What 38-year-old makes dates with a 16-year-old online?
So Harley claimed that there were more messages where Isel asked her where she was staying and that she felt creeped out and scared, and also that he was asking her for dates. And what you'll see in a moment is that all of these accusations are just projections.
I don't think Julia Bohr is an idiot, and I'm not here to call her an idiot, not at all. Those of you who have watched some of her videos may be shocked and say, well, come on, she's saying a lot of stupid stuff. Well, she is very strongly influenced by what I've just mentioned. This habitus popularized by Freely and Duran Rider of acting over the top, attacking people, denouncing people, and starting fights over nothing.
Will it fly in my community that I've created, that I work hard every day to fucking build? No. It will never fly. And so I don't care if people say, you overreact. I would rather overreact to provide a safe community. I mean, I would rather overreact, get in a bit of shit or whatever, than have another situation like we had last year with certain predators coming in.
The situation Harley is referring to is also a bunch of accusations that only came from Harley against another man, where he basically accused this other man of exactly what he's accusing Isol of.
So I'd rather overreact than underreact and let in predators. Simple as that. So I don't give a fuck what people say.
So Harley makes a big deal out of he would rather overreact to this situation, but you have to remember there was never a situation. It's all made up by Harley. Basically, it's Harley who exploits this 16-year-old to get back at Isol.
Interpersonally exploitative, taking advantage of others to achieve his or her own ends.
16-year-old girl who came to me crying and freaking out. Oh my god, I've got this, like, you know, this creeper guy chasing me.
So Harley claimed that Julia came to him and cried and asked him for help. But what's interesting is that Lauren, a friend of Julia's, actually made a video this month and explained the situation.
I decided to email Julian Ryder, aka Harley Johnston. There was no sexual even vibes or anything off the guy, nothing pedo-like, nothing sexual predator-like at all. Julia would say the same thing. There was nothing of a sexual nature at all. It was then that Julian Ryder decided to post in his Bike Festival Facebook group that this Isol Mazard was a sexual predator. Now, like I said, there was nothing of the sort even said, right? In fact, quite the opposite. All of these things basically saying that he was out to get young girls, despite the fact that I had actually blatantly stated in an email that there was nothing sexual. What Harley Johnston, Julian Ryder, says about him is completely fabricated. Now, after I sent that email saying that, you know, there was nothing in sexual nature about the emails, it was as if Harley just didn't really care. It was as if these emails from me were the go-ahead that he needed to rage war against this Isol Mazar guy. And then following that, you know, and then Harley was totally ignoring my emails after that. I have some evidence of the guy being an absolute emotional manipulator towards a young woman who confided in me about the whole thing. Complete emotional blackmail and manipulation on his part, and it absolutely disgusted me. It disgusted me, and it made me really realise the kind of person that Harley Johnston actually is. And when I go back and look at some of the things again that he said in the messages that I have from another young woman in the festival, it just reinforces, you know, and makes it clear to me exactly the kind of person that he is. Yeah, there you have it. That is exactly what he's doing right now. He's manipulating the whole situation like he has done so many times before. So many times before. If I had to give 3 words to describe him, it would be liar, manipulator, and narcissist. He also always just uses this idea of, what would you have done if it was your sister?
What would you do if that's your little sister, 16-year-old in Thailand, getting creeped on by some guy she didn't want to talk to? And he kept sending her emails after she's told him to fuck off.
And the fact that the young sister has even said, you know, there was nothing sexual about the thing.
So I sent Julia an email a while ago to hear her side of the story, but she never replied. So I sent an email to Lauren, and what she told me was pretty interesting. You can pause the video if you want to read the whole thing, but here you can see that, according to Lauren, it was Harley who manipulated Julia, not Isol. And you can also see that she's saying that she really don't think Julia came to him crying. And to the claims that there were more correspondence between Julia and Isol than we saw, where Isol asked her for dates and stuff, Lauren says 100% no. And Lauren also said that Harley asked her if she was a virgin. So again, it's Harley who sends these kind of messages that he's accusing Isol of sending. And as you could see in the emails, Julia doesn't even want to have anything to do with Harley anymore, which is pretty telling. If he really helped her and protected her, why would she just completely cut him out? doesn't make sense, right?
Durian Rider claiming that I had a love affair with a 16-year-old girl in Chiang Mai on the basis of 2 emails that have been publicly stated. They're on this channel. They're both like 1 sentence each. And the only thing I said to that 16-year-old was basically, yeah, kid, you're going to look back on this 6 months from now and laugh. Because she was at that time brainwashed as hell by Durian Rider. Go to her YouTube channel today, 6 months later, I'm not sure if she's laughing or crying. But she's outgrown it. She's not brainwashed anymore. She's not part of the weight loss, raw vegan, ride your bike till you gain 20 pounds cult.
I feel justified. And anyone who disagrees with me, you're still fucking wrong, and you're probably a sexual predator your fucking self.
If you disagree with Harley, you're probably a sexual predator. Right.
And he's got a bad reputation on the internet for harassing young women.
The girls know he's a fucking dodgy, he's shady, he's suspicious. The girls know, they've been warned. And you've come from fucking nowhere. You just appeared. You claim to be vegan for 50 years or whatever, and no one fucking knows who the fuck you are. You travel around Cambodia and Laos.
So that's another projection. Harley is the one that is traveling. Isol live, study and work there.
Why were you in Chiang Mai? Were you at the Bike Fest?
I lived in Thailand, Laos, Cambodia for years. I was a real scholar, a real specialist in that field. I realize my CV is boring, but you can read, I sent you a copy of my resume. You can look that over. I have a meaningful connection to the history, politics, and languages of that region, including the city of Chiang Mai itself. Why I arrived when I did and left when I did, which had nothing to do with the festival, was that I had a job in China, in Kunming, China, where I am right now, and I was signed up to start language classes that I'm taking right now. And I needed to do paperwork. Chiang Mai has a Chinese embassy where I could get all that stuff done, and I could then get a direct flight from Chiang Mai to Kunming, which is exactly what I did. Above and beyond that, I had fans in Chiang Mai. Durian Rider isn't the only one with fans in Chiang Mai. There were people in Chiang Mai who wanted to meet me. And so I went there. That was another reason to be in Chiang Mai rather than taking a slightly different route going from Bangkok to Kunming. I never attended a single Rotel 4 event. I never gate crashed. I never showed up at anything uninvited. I created my own events where I met people who already knew me on the internet and wanted to meet with me. That was it.
And that's really fishy to me, that you've just magically appeared from nowhere.
So he's painting a picture of Isol with lies, and if you remember from part 2, he's using the same lies as he used towards Jen Journey.
Last year we had someone come in the community just from zero, from nowhere, just say, hey, I've got cancer, I need money. And so instantly I'm thinking, where did you come from? Like, you're not even on Facebook, like you just come from nowhere and you're asking for money in a very trusting community.
Harley kind of popped up from nowhere. Does anyone know anything about his background? All I know is that he has lied about his past.
This guy's 37 years old, and his name's Zell. He's this creeper. So we'll catch up with him eventually in Chiang Mai, but it's just, what do we do with people like that? What do we do with people like that? Did they learn? Are they like computers? You have to punch the information in again and again. You've got to smash their fucking teeth out and put them in hospital before they learn. How do we deal with these fucking scumbags? I guess we'll soon find out. And if anyone wants to fuck around in my community, then they're going to deal with me, and they're going to deal with the other guys who aren't afraid to stand up. When you want to back up fucking pedophiles and all this shit, that's when you cross the line with Durian Rider. That's when you cross the line with me personally.
So let's stop there for a minute. You could clearly hear that he was referring to Isol as a pedophile, and I want to call out Harley on that one. You see, Harley made a challenge where he said if you can find a video, post or comment where he has called someone a pedophile, he'll give you $10,000.
We've got about 10 grand US here. We've got some 50s, we've got some greenbacks, we've got some hundreds. It's legit money. I'm not just talking trash, I'm backing it up with cash. $10,000 cash, 10 grand for you, legit money, legit money. Are you man enough to take up the cash, take up the offer? But I bet you're not.
$10,000 challenge, cold hard cash. It's 10,000 bucks, cold hard cash. Cold hard cash.
Look at that.
So you can see this money here. This is cold hard cash. Cold hard cash. This is a put my money where my motherfucking mouth is. I'll give you $10,000 Australian dollars. Cash. Cold hard cash. Always keep your word. Always keep your word. If you say you're gonna do something, you fucking do it. Then I would recommend walk your talk.
Always keep your word. Always keep your word. And I recommend walk your talk. So where can I collect my money? Oh, and by the way, Harley still hasn't donated $50,000 to Jen's family. And just to be clear, before anyone says, oh, I'm just doing this for money and stuff, if he were to give me $10,000, I will donate everything. I don't want his dirty money that he's earned on like slandering and defaming others.
We need to speak up. We cannot let this continue to happen. He can get away with this because we are staying silent, because we are not speaking up and saying that this is not okay.
If you refuse to put up your identification...
Oh, this is bullshit. Because he put up his identification, but whenever they're given evidence, they don't believe it. So June Ryder's asked, I want to see your passport. And the guy goes, sure, there you go. I don't believe them, they're fake. I want real ones. Like, these are real ones? Like, I want your fingerprints. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to walk away now because we're not getting anywhere here. So that's one sign of psychiatric problems.
If you're going to put up the court testimonies of your fucking ex-wife or whatever...
Yeah, because that would be legal. Why can you put up court testimony? Is that not like called privacy laws?
With restraining orders against you, if you're not going to disprove that...
Oh, that was a good bullshit. He's got to disprove restraining orders.
Hey, motherfucker, I didn't say no one's a pedophile. I said this motherfucker is contacting...
I said no one was a pedophile. Yes, you did. There's documented evidence of it everywhere. Everyone is screen grabbing everything you write because it's so hilarious for whenever we do videos. Just brilliant.
So here's more evidence of Harley calling him a pedophile. So do I get $10,000 for each time I expose it, or how does that work?
Someone have said pedo as like a reference joke. But I don't give a fuck.
Oh, hold on. You said pedophile, not as a reference joke. That's a monumental bullshit that you said there. There's no fucking joke, no joking around when you were saying that, June Ryder. And again, again, you've done so many videos where you're like, oh my god, that's so terrible to call somebody a pedophile. Oh dear, June Ryder, when we were all calling you a pedophile because you actually said you want to see a 17-year-old girl get fucked by her toothbrush. In some states, that is considered underage child sex porn that you were wanting to see.
Or some guy at the time said you got banged by a toothbrush or something like that.
If you've got a live leak video link, send it to me.
These story
DM me on
times.
Instagram. Electric toothbrush.
Oh, nice.
If you're contacting underage girls and you have a fake couch surfing profile where you say only one person can stay and it's on a little couch over there and it's 2 minutes from the edge of my bed, I'm gonna watch the fucking sleep.
That's bullshit. Again, where are you getting this nonsense in your head, you absolute crime situation description?
Yeah, where does he get that crime scene description from? Remember psychological projection and how it tends to be very specific? It turns out Harley has a video of his own hotel room on his own channel.
Check out inside. So this is what I pay here in Thailand, Chiang Mai. I pay $30 a week for this.
Did you catch that? Let's watch that one more time.
Check out inside.
Now here's where things start to get disturbing, because in the beginning of this video there's a teenage girl cycling up the driveway to his hotel room. Now when I first saw this girl I thought she was around 12 to 14 years of age. She looks very young. I've blurred her face because it's a girl Harley has had what he calls adult consensual sex with. But don't take my word for it. His ex-girlfriend shared a massive Tumblr post with a lot of private message between the two of them where he talks about this girl. So as you can see, she was an 18-year-old virgin, and look at what his ex-girlfriend said, that he manipulated her. This is exactly what he accused Isol of, and his ex-girlfriend has also mentioned this girl in other places. What's interesting is that Harley in the same comment section claimed that this was a fake account. But if you take a closer look at this account, we can clearly see that this is not a fake account. So this is the guy who describes himself as a teacher of the community who protects young women from sexual predators, yet here he is manipulating teenage virgins to sleep with him. And just to be clear, this is not the same girl who came forward in my previous video. These are two separate teenagers.
I did not know what I was dealing with. And it's not very comfortable for me to tell the story, to be honest, but I really feel I need to tell it.
He messaged a lot of young girls a lot of girls in my community.
He sent me messages being like, are you back in Chiang Mai? Where are you staying?
Are you going to Chiang Mai? This is Dr. Eva writing this. And there's a few other follow-ups where you're staying, etc.
He started talking about me a lot. Like, he started complimenting me a lot. He started talking a lot about what I looked like. It made me feel a bit uncomfortable.
Just talking all sorts of shit to him. Creepy shit.
Then the next day he asked me if there was any free rooms at my apartment building. Now that made me feel a bit weird because I only just met him. I hardly knew the guy, and he was wanting to move into my apartment building suddenly.
So this is a guy who's creeping around with teenage girls.
The day after, he messaged me again saying, do you want to meet up tonight? I can come to your room. And at that point I felt quite uncomfortable, honestly, because, you know, he's like 40 years old, I'm 18.
Then that's really, really, really disgusting and disappointing that you'd support someone like this who has no positive intention to the vegan community other than harass and cyberbully women, young women.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure what he wanted from me. So I kind of just tried to wiggle myself out of it a little bit. I think I said I was tired and I was going for a ride the next day, so I said maybe we can meet another time or whatever. But then he said to me that it was only about, like, he only wanted to talk to me about my camera and I shouldn't worry, and I was like, oh, okay. So, like, he doesn't have any bad intentions, so it's okay, and I kind of trusted him. So he came to my room, and that night it was actually okay because we just talked and I tried to keep my distance from him. Then, because I trusted him after that, I was like, oh, okay, so he actually just wants to be friends with me. I was looking up to him as this, like, community leader who was doing great things, I thought, at the time.
I'm the school teacher. This Raw to 4 Bike Fest in Chiang Mai is my little school group. Alright?
Yeah.
So this is during my daddy, the teacher. Kids, this is what you should eat. Go ride your bike, go to bed, it's late. I was coming in on Facebook. Hey, what are you up to? Where are you staying?
And yeah, so then the day after he wanted to see me again and he wanted me to come to his room, and I was like, okay, we'll just hang out again because we're friends now. And we started talking, but it was a bit different because he started making a lot of, like, sexual comments, and he really tried to direct the conversation towards sex, which I felt a bit uncomfortable with again because he was so much older than me and I hardly knew him as well.
Creepy shit.
I kind of tried to just brush it off, and he was asking me things like, if someone's, like, really into you, what do you think they should do? And at that point I was realizing that he was, like, directly, you know, talking about me, and I tried to brush it off by saying, oh, I think they should just, like, keep their distance and wait, kind of, like, wait and see. But he didn't, so he then tried to kiss me, and I kind of stepped back and I was like, I don't think we should do this, like, I don't think I want to do this. And what was strange about that situation is he was so taken aback and almost, I'm not sure, confused or angry that I said no to him. Yeah, so I said I don't think we should do this, and he then started asking me continuously why I didn't want to kiss him and why I wasn't attracted to him and why.
And he just harasses him again and again and again. Again and again and again. And going after it again and again and again and again. That's harassment.
He kept asking those questions, and obviously my answer in my head was that you know, you're like 40 and I'm 18 and I don't think that we should be doing this because you're, like, so much older than me and I don't think this is right.
People are just so easy, man. They're so easy to manipulate. They're so easy to bullshit. You see it, man. Like, most women out there, most girls, 16 to 25-year-old, most, not all, most, are basic handbag wearing bitches.
And I kind of just said, oh, I don't know, like, I just don't feel good about this kind of thing. Yeah, he just kept asking.
The young girl started to feel a bit scared. She felt creeped out.
And he wanted to talk talk in his bedroom and then said my legs were really tight and started giving me a massage.
This guy's 37 years old.
He then tried to kiss me again.
He's this creeper.
I wasn't really confident anymore in that situation, so I kind of just let him do it.
Will it fly in my community that I've created, that I work hard every day to fucking build? No, it will never fly. And so I don't care if people say you overreact. I would rather overreact to provide a safe community.
Then he, refused to use condoms.
I would rather overreact, get in a bit of shit or whatever, than have another situation like we had last year with certain predators coming in.
His actions really didn't align with that at all, the way he was treating me.
They exploit people. Basically, it's a lot of actions that don't line up with a lot of their words.
I just didn't even question anything, and I didn't realize, because I didn't think someone who had such a high status and who was almost like a YouTube celebrity, I don't think someone like that could have any, bad intentions.
What would you do if that's your little sister, 10-year-old in Thailand, getting creeped on by some guy she didn't want to talk to?
I had some personal, pretty intense problems in my life then.
What would you do?
He saw my friend and I riding in the street of Chiang Mai. He started following us. He cut my friend off so she was behind me.
And stalking him again and again and again.
It was quite scary, to be honest, because I was just by myself and I didn't know what to do.
She felt unsafe.
And I was like, okay, because I just wanted to get them off me. I was so scared that day, honestly. A few hours later, I got back home from having dinner with a few friends, and the wheels of my bike were gone.
This is how easy it is to steal bikes. No one's going to do anything.
Now that was a few hours after Harley got so angry at me, and he knows exactly which one my bike is. Obviously, he knows exactly where I live. There's cameras opposite our building, and they probably caught the theft. And then fast forward to the next morning, and someone must have gotten scared because my wheels were back.
What do we do with people like that? What do we do with people like that? Well, how do we deal with these fucking scumbags?
He kept saying basically anything that he thought would hurt me the most is what he said. Like, he said I was really fat and I would always be single.
And if anyone wants to fuck around in my community, then they're going to deal with me and they're going to deal with the other guys who aren't afraid to stand up.
So basically the whole time, even in front of the police, he was just mocking me in every way he could. He said, I hope your daddy's proud of you for sleeping with a 40-year-old creep.
So I'd rather overact than underreact and let in predators.
Obviously, if I could go back, I would not trust him at all. And I think that's really dangerous, especially in a community like this, where you have someone like that as the community leader. I just want him out of my life, and I just want to get this out there so that he can't do to other people what he did to me.
My name is Dana. Currently, I am a psychiatric nurse. I work with people with personality disorders and mental illness. I also worked at a domestic violence shelter where I worked with victims of all kinds of abuse.
And after Josie came forward, Harley has been cyberbullying, slandering her and trying to shame her for coming forward. And this is exactly what he accused Isel of, like cyberbullying girls and harassing them. And yet again, this is Harley's behavior. She's receiving messages from these anonymous accounts, but it's clear that this is Harley because he's using information that she has told him against her, asking her what her ex-boyfriend thinks about this, calling her a slut, saying that nobody will want to be with her after this, basically just trying to shame her to want to take down the video. Here's a post on his Tumblr where he claims that she is sending him photos of herself, but if you look closely, you can see that this is Harley sending her a photo, not all the way around, it's on the right side. And Josie showed me more of this conversation, and as you can see, he's saying thumbnail, so he sent her this photo and told her to put it as a thumbnail. And I'm convinced this is a tactic Harley used. He approached all these teenage girls and he tell them that if they do as he says, they can start earning money on YouTube and stuff. So he tells them to like put this as a thumbnail, like post this, post that, do this, do that. And then he assaults them. And if they ever dare to speak up, he will go back to these videos and he will tell people, oh, look at this thumbnail they're using. Oh, they're such a slut and they wanted this. But it was him all along. He made them do all of this. Here's another post where he says she's fucked her online image forever, blah blah blah. It's all just to shame her. And this really displays Harley's misogyny, how he looks at women as like objects that can become dirty. The only reason a real man will care about this is because he will see that she's been mistreated. In fact, I'd say her speaking up like this is a quality that real men will respect. Not like insecure little boys. They will try to shame her for it, but real men will respect her for that. It's like it takes a lot of courage for a teenager to speak up like she did in that video.
It's not a crime for me to say, this person, they look fucking sleazy and wrong. And it's not a crime for me to say, hey, I get contacted and this person has been banned from Canadian vegan groups or whatever.
What?
That's not wrong for me to say that.
No, and if you said that, that's not a problem. You spouted that you thought this guy was a paedophile and that he shouldn't be, and that you wanted people to go around and beat him up. So sorry. Yeah, you're saying all the things you're saying isn't illegal, but that's not what you said. Bullshit. Personality disorder.
So if you want to fucking take me to fucking court, fucking take me to court.
Yeah, but what you said is you're a paedophile and where are you living? Because I want to send people around to get some justice on you. Take you to court. Which jury rider are we taking to court? The one that accused somebody of being a paedophile, or the other one, we accused somebody of being a paedophile? Oh, they're both you, jury rider. You just don't remember doing it.
How the fuck would you feel if someone sledges your fucking girlfriend? Video after video after video, leaving up comments, Lily's a slut. She deserves to get smashed. Leaving those comments up, instigating those comments. What the fuck would you do?
He's not done any videos slamming freely. This is something inside your head.
Jury rider, you're an authority. You are the authority in your group. You should fucking do something. Don't be a gutless cunt.
Yes, you're the organizer of an event. Yeah, if somebody at your event is threatening children in some sort of way, then yes, you should do something. If somebody has emailed a child who is old enough and responsible enough to go on a trip all the way to Thailand to go to an event which she possibly doesn't know that the organizer of it is a total psychotic nutcase, then I would kind of advise that that girl should be, like, advised, no matter what her age.
And what the fuck would you do? And then they come to your event and they say they want to fucking fight you.
He hasn't come to your event. He's not at your event. He's just happened to be in the same city. He doesn't say he wants to fight you. He said you effectively said you were going to send goons round to go beat him up, and he's like, "Fine, go for it. If you want to have a fight, I'll go." He was reciprocating your violence, you tit.
What the fuck would you do? You'd get fired up.
What would I do? What would I do? I would investigate the claims. Yeah, June Rider. What would you do? You investigate the claims, not instantaneously put out a video. No, put out messages of violence, hate, and anger towards a person that's of no importance to you whatsoever. But he doesn't trust you. He doesn't trust you, and it's only the people that trust you that are allowed to know about this. Oh, so yeah, that's all bullshit. That is monumental bullshit.
And then someone says, "Hey, this cunt was banned from our group because his inappropriate behaviour towards young women."
No, he wasn't banned from it. No, superb. Another bullshit. Nobody said that. No, and he's not.
Is that you've been banned from Canada vegan social...
All this stuff is made up. I mean, like I say, it's completely made up. And the actual, I just mentioned, Durian Rider doesn't know anything about the geography of Canada. So even the accusations don't make sense. I was living in Victoria, BC, and he was saying I was living in French Canada, in Quebec. It's like, you guys know...
I'm from Canada. That's far away.
Oh, I know. So that's like saying, like, if I was living in Spain,
and you were accusing me of getting kicked out of a vegan organization in, like, Russia. The distance is so enormous in Victoria. So no, I mean, all this stuff is just complete nonsense.
Again, all of these are projections. As you can see in this message, Harley is the one that gets kicked out and banned from vegan groups. And of course, when this happens, he goes online and tries to shame the people involved, saying they are fake vegans and stuff like that. Here's another group he has been kicked out of and blocked from. Why? Because he's guilty of exactly the stuff he is accusing Isol of, and other men. And it's not only he that is getting kicked out. Anyone who enable or condone his inappropriate behavior is also kicked out. So I commented on the post and asked if I could use it in my next video, and Nicole contacted me, just saying that she's not calling him a pedophile, but that he has sexually harassed some girls in the community. You can also see that Harley is threatening her to remove the post, even though she haven't even mentioned his name. And he's also sending me these kinds of messages, but he's doing it under anonymous accounts, trying to scare me to silence and to make me remove my videos, which won't happen. And here you can see what Tori is to him. All she is to him is a cover. Nicole also told me about another teenage girl Harley had targeted, and apparently when this girl told Nicole, Harley went psycho at her in front of everyone. So I tried to contact the teenager that Nicole mentioned, but she didn't want to be involved, which is understandable as we've all seen how he goes after anyone who speaks up about him. And as some of you may have seen that I told Nicole that he would even sleep with a 15-year-old if he could get away with it, I just want to back that up before we move on. So here's a post by his ex-girlfriend where she is saying he would constantly stare at and do groundwork on young girls, even underage ones. This made me even more insecure about myself. One girl in particular in Adelaide he was always trying to get close to, and it creeped me out. Her name is... And he said that if we weren't together he would fuck her if no one found out. She was 15. I found it so disgusting, but he said, well, at least I'm being honest with you. He would compare me to these young girls all the time. So that's not only a sexually predatory statement, that's an actual pedophile statement. That's an underage girl that he says that he would like to have sex with. And his ex-girlfriend never retracted what she said. She deleted the post after Harley blackmailed her, but she never retracted it or said that it was lies.
Is 16-year-old a kid? In my opinion, it is.
Huge hypocrite. Do as I say, don't do as I do. So there's this double standard as far as behavior goes. So they're going to be lying, cheating, stealing, manipulating, kind of doing whatever they're going to do, but they are horrified and outraged if you're even acting remotely close to how they're acting. Narcissistic people they're selfish, and they have this attitude of entitlement that they just are entitled to act in whatever way that they want to act, and that they should be able to do whatever they want to do with whomever they want to do it with as much as they want to do it, and that the world just needs to be okay with it.
But if you're street smart, if you've been around a bit, I've lived on the street, spent a little bit of time in prison, spent a lot of time traveling in Southeast Asia, and I've met a lot of seedy, dodgy motherfuckers, but to pretend to be something else they're not. To hustle teenage girls or inexperienced women. That Jack Francis motherfucker last year.
Jack Francis story kind of went a bit quiet, didn't it, June Ryder? Where did that go? What was that? You did a lot of like, oh my god, we hate this guy. You even left me comments saying, we're going to send evidence to the police. No, not seen any more stories about that. That's kind of gone quiet. What's happening with that? Actually, maybe we're talking shit.
The cunt was a fucking shitbag sexual predator. He sexually assaulted girls at my event.
You're confident at saying that? We haven't heard anything factual.
So after quite a lot of backlash for Harley's accusations against Isol, Harley resorted to the usual victim hero speak.
But there's people out there believe any bullshit because they want to believe they fucking hate me, man.
June Ryder, you spout the biggest amount of bullshit that's on the internet, bar none. Nobody spouts more bullshit than you. Like, the difference is you spout You spout bullshit with confidence because of your ignorance.
So you can make your videos hating me or whatever. I do find it sad sometimes. I do find it disappointing.
So this is the next part of the psychological manipulation, where he's like, now, feel sorry for me. Oh.
Say you spend so much time helping people out.
Oh my God.
They're propagandizing. They're telling you who they are. You'll come to see, or I hope you'll come to see, I hope everybody comes to see, that actually when you take an objective look at that person, you'll realise what a pathetic, fragile, vulnerable entity they really are. That's an addict. That narcissist is an addict. They're addicted to the delicious milkshake of the narcissistic supply, attention and admiration that they are compelled to extort from people, either by overt bullying or by covert manipulation. They need you more than you need them, but in the end, because you open your ears to their propaganda, you submit, you drop your ego defenses, and you take on the bullshit that they're feeding you. They tell you, I am beautiful, I am special, I am unique, I am wonderful, I am the best person you've ever met, the greatest relationship you'll ever have. You need me. Oh, look at you. You're so addicted to me. You're so needy on me. You need me too much. All of that is projection.
And you forget all those emails that you wrote to me when you're about to commit suicide and I helped you out, get through that or whatever. Or you had problems with your girlfriend or you had problems with your boyfriend and I was there for you.
Blah, 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 blah. And now I know more people that commit suicide than you do. Blah, blah, blah. Pish. If you had problems with your boyfriend or your problems with your girlfriend, why the fuck would anybody ask Julian Ryder, a man who doesn't have a wife and pimps out his girlfriend online, why would anybody ask you advice on that?
One of my good friends said to me, Harley's easy to understand. Whatever he accuses people of, he's doing. One of the things that rung true for me is this whole using Freely's body as a marketing tool. There is a quote somewhere on YouTube where he says, I'm the pimp, Freely's the hoe, and YouTube is the client. And I was like, wow. And when I used to watch their videos way back, I used to think it's really strange how he parades her body. Like he'll pull her body and make her turn around and say, look at her butt and look at her hips, like she was an object. And this also explains his obsession with leanness.
Narcissists do want things that others can't have. So really, they want trophies next to them, you know. So if it's a guy, they want somebody who's like a supermodel type. They're very superficial. They're extremely shallow people.
The need for power and control is one of the more classic signs of an abusive person. Physical appearance is another one. A lot of abusive people will either demand that their partner dress incredibly sexy. They want you to dress really sexy. They want you to, they want to show off their partner, and it's more of a, doesn't matter if you're comfortable wearing whatever they want you to wear, but they might even pick out clothes for you. That's kind of more of an extreme where they're picking out your outfits and they're very much dictating what you will wear day in and day out.
Harley continuing to use Freely to get views. And this isn't something that has been new. I remember it was a few years ago, Harley started making videos where he was talking about, you know, getting blowjobs from Freely in the shower, or, you know, busting a nut in his girlfriend, going balls deep, blah blah blah. And I posted on one of his videos, I was like, dude, Freely's a woman that I respect, and I really feel uncomfortable with the way that you're talking about her, or continuing to talk about women in such an objectifying way is, like, that's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. It's unacceptable. But alas, it has continued. And throughout the year, it's like you look at Harley's thumbnails and what, like 3/4 of them have Freely on them? Like, they've been broken up for 4+ months now, and he's still continuing to put her half-naked body on his thumbnails. And he's still continuing to make videos about, like, busting a nut in her so hard that his balls hurt.
I had sex with Freely and I busted a nut so deep, so hard. The next day on the bike, that testicle was sore. When that nut almost popped, deep in the side of Freely, balls fucking deep, man. Balls deep. bust it so hard.
I would expect that of a 13-year-old boy, not a 40-year-old man.
Like for me, when this was happening to me, I felt like the person was really immature. That's how it struck me. And I remember thinking, you know, you are 45 years old. Like, you are too old to be acting like a teenager.
Calling someone Isel bizarre and Dr. Evil, and do you actually realise how childish and immature this whole thing is?
Get over it, Harley. Stop being an effing baby.
This guy has tried it with everyone. And I think I'm the first person who was too hot to handle, because I just said to him, look, if it's on, it's on. And then from that moment, he backed down and he started playing the victim.
I'm not saying, hey, poor me, people are mean to me on the internet. I fucking...
Oh! He's just saying, I'm not going, hey, poor me, pity me on the internet. Just wait until you see the next hour of this video where he's like crying because like, I just tried to be a nice guy. What is that? That's like, you just stabbed yourself in the back there with bullshit. Oh, that was good. Well, yes you are. Yes you are. I saw a post other where you're like, oh, they made it all up. I'm the victim.
When we go through the traits of covert narcissists, one of the big ones is they have a victim complex, and they're very ostentatiously full on with saying, I am not understood by this cruel world. You don't understand me. Nobody understands me. I'm the biggest victim in the room.
I don't want to start, trashing people like they're trashing me. I'm better than that. Especially people that I consider were friends.
Oh, do you know what? It's so pathetic. I can't even bothered finishing this video. I would say it's pretty pathetic. That's all it is. He is fucking crying over himself. He doesn't realise how much of an embarrassment, how much of a tit, how insulting he is to the vegan movement. And he's blubbing over himself because people are calling him out on the shit that he puts out there. Don't give him fucking sympathy for this. He needs a wake-up call, is what he needs.
I don't think Harley will ever wake up, but this is a wake-up call for everyone around him.
Googles their name, and up comes Julian Ryder saying this person is a paedophile. That person then loses their potential job, they don't get their visa, they can't work in Korea. Julian Ryder then just going, yeah, I said the wrong thing. Does nothing. Julian Ryder saying, yeah, I said the wrong thing, I'm sorry. Does nothing. You would have to full on go out, get this man another job, repay him for all the losses that he's potentially had, and all that, because then you're almost at sorting out the shitstorm that you've made yourself. But instead, you can't even apologise or even acknowledge that you've been such a twat. Making right the damage which you have done from the things that you have said on the internet. Now that is a good thing to do. Unfortunately, Julian Ryder, you're never going to be able to do that.
He kept moving the goalposts. He kept redefining what it was I was supposedly guilty of, etc., etc.
And he's slamming me, he's slamming Freely. He's putting out he wants to fight us.
Labassiel has done repeated videos slandering and trying to defame myself and Freely.
No, I haven't seen any hate mongering, any slandering. You know, calling out bullshit is different from slandering.
Criticizing does not mean bashing. Calling out bad behavior does not mean bashing.
He also threatened to bash me in Chiang Mai at Maya Mall one night before all the drama went down.
Now that lie sounds familiar. He's not only using the same lie over and over about the same person, he's also using the same lies about different people.
Another thing he said is that I have supposedly posted on my Facebook group, Just Vegan, that I will bash Freely's teeth in if I see her in Chiang Mai, which is like what the fuck. So he said that and said there's no screenshots because I deleted it so quickly or something stupid like that. He said people have sent me messages and then I blocked them. No one sent me any messages or anything. However, several people have tried to hack my Facebook account probably to post that type of thing, take a screenshot and then delete it.
And they do fabricate evidence. They have created fake profiles for underage girls sending me messages trying to have sex with me on the internet. And then they take photographs of those fake profiles sending me those messages and, you know, share them on the internet to defame me.
And I've got the emails, I've got the proof.
Durian Ryder is such a goddamn joke that there is no way his allegations against me could ever be used in a court of law in France in my divorce case. I do talk openly about the fact that I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I'm in court right now trying to resolve the petty details of exactly how much time I get to spend with my daughter, when I get to see her, etc. I do not think there is any chance that my ex-wife's lawyer would take, you know, these statements off the internet that I was supposed to be arrested in Thailand for pedophilia or being a sex predator and present them in a court of law. I think there's a 0% chance of that. But you know what? It's tremendously sad just to even think about that possibility. It's tremendously sad to think that someone fabricating this kind of case against me could actually deprive me of the right to see my daughter. Okay? Simultaneously, this is a situation that is completely fake, and yet it's the realest thing in the world. Simultaneously, I can say to you, this is so serious that it's not a game. And I can also say to you, this is a complete joke. It's just a fucking game.
And it's also a big game to them. It's a game, and everything is a game, and they always play to win.
So first Harley accused Isol of all these things, then he do the whole victim hero speak thing, which also didn't work. So next up is an apology video. And as we saw in part 2, his apologies is really just more lies and slander disguised as an apology.
Am I perfect? Am I perfect? Definitely not. Now this situation has been fantastic because it shows who your friends are, who's ready to back you. I'm not perfect. I snap. And we had a situation here where I overreacted. Last year we had a guy, the Jack Francis dude, who sexually assaulted a couple of young women in our group.
Jack Francis, let's see. Durian Ryder randomly came out with like some serious rape allegations. Sexual assault, rape allegations. And it was like, it was like, oh my god, there's like totally a man that's sexually assaulted people and I'm going to the police with all this information. Never been anything mentioned about it afterwards.
So this is what happens if you don't speak up against Harley's lies. With time they become this kind of like truth that he will bring up again and again and again. Now I don't know anything about Jack Francis, but I'm not gonna believe anything Harley says. My theory is that he went after Jack Francis because he looked at him as a threat.
This Dr. Evil guy, he's been slamming me and Freely hardcore on the net. This is a guy who's pro animal vivisection. He thinks vivisection is a good thing.
I'm against vivisection. I would love to see vivisection eliminated 100%. I'm interested in a 100% elimination of vivisection. Ethically and morally, I agree there is no such thing as necessary torture, as justifiable torture. I have no idea how anyone can be stupid enough to watch this channel and think that I'm pro-vivisection, when that's a set of examples I've discussed in depth from day one on this channel, from the very first video talking about veganism on this channel.
So Harley purposefully pushed this misconception that Isol is pro-vivisection, even though Isol has made it perfectly clear that he's not.
He thinks Cowspiracy is a bunch of hippie bullshit.
Cowspiracy. It's a very interesting film. The film presents many plain facts about ecology, about veganism, about the environmental devastation that's caused by meat production. This film is drawing attention to the overwhelming importance of animal agriculture, of meat production, in causing a long list of the world's environmental and ecological problems.
Best vegan documentaries. I find the documentary crew are just money hungry people. Very, very money hungry. And they don't do documentaries to make money on it.
So yet again, another projection.
And I'm pretty sure he said in his video that eating beef is more sustainable than eating apples.
The bad news is that, yes, a lot of vegans are using flawed and misleading statistics in arguing their case. The good news is that when you look into all the details, you're going to find that, yeah, veganism still not only has a massive moral advantage, it also has an ecological advantage.
And he's literally written to hundreds of my friends on Facebook, hundreds of them.
Isn't it a bit strange that if ISIL has sent all these creepy messages to all these people, not even one single correspondence has gotten out? Yet we've seen several of Harley's correspondences.
But then he starts contacting a a 16-year-old girl here. And he's like, you know, we blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking, no way. This is not happening again.
He's contacted a 16-year-old girl and blah blah blah, and no, this is not happening again. That's pretty vague. He's not really saying anything there. I mean, we've all seen the messages and it was nothing. What's interesting though is I contacted many of the people Harley has targeted, and one of them told me that Harley has been harassing a 16-year-old. Unfortunately, most of them don't want to be involved, as this person say that this is what he wants, like it fuels his social media. He makes money from this.
Parasitic existence. Narcissists, you know, because they operate from this attitude of outrageous entitlement, blinding degree of selfishness, lack of empathy, lack of remorse. It's all about them all the time. So it's not uncommon for a lot of them to live what's called a parasitic existence. They just destroy lives on so many different levels. It's really just heartbreaking.
This person also told me about Acorn, a cyberbullying reporting agency in Australia. So I just want to spread that message to everyone he has targeted. I know Joe Best is watching these videos.
Joe Best, you're still a fucking fat slob, you're still fucking obese, and you're still going to KFC. Why don't you tell your audience the last time you ate at KFC was? Why don't you explain them why you're still obese? Why don't you explain that, you fat fuck? Anyway, gee, seriously, man, you are one jealous fat fuck. You know, I'm not being mean in this video, just being straight up honest, man. Straight up honest, because I've seen it all, and I've seen, you know, guys like you, Joe, who just come into community to make money. You're just a fat, obese fucking businessman, Joe. That's all you are. But basically, Joe Best still fat, sick, and nearly dead. They're still fat, they're still scamming, they're still jelly as fuck. Still not getting any pussy. None of those two motherfuckers get any pussy, except for the Chinese or Thai hookers they're banging with the cash they make from their friends, or the money they steal from the audience. Think about it. Truth sees truth. Joe Best, worst transformation. Still a fat flog. No, Joe Best's not even fucking fat. He's motherfucking obese. He's fucking obese. Bro, you're fucking obese, man. Look in the mirror. Have you seen Joe Best's new shoes? Neither has he. Joe, look in the fucking mirror, bro. You're fucking obese. You're not even fat. You're obese. You haven't even seen your shoes. Joe Best is like 80% body fat.
I suggest he should report him, and also, like everyone in the vegan community that he has slandered and lied about. There's like, it's pretty much everyone. If we all report him, then maybe they'll do something about it. This person also told me that Harley has been accusing people of rape for about 8 years. 8 years. And here's the part about the 16-year-old he had cyberbullied 2 years ago. And also the girl who had been beaten by her boyfriend that I showed in part 1. So everyone that has been targeted by him, that sees this, like, go back and report him. Report the old posts. And maybe he will face some consequences.
And people say, you should just go and have a nice friendly chat with him. Would you go and have a nice friendly chat with someone who's a vivisection fucking promoter? Someone who's slamming your girlfriend for all her hard work.
So this is the apology video, yet he's repeating the same lies. And what's interesting is that since this video, Harley and his girlfriend has broken up. And let's take a look at how Harley talks about his now ex-girlfriend. She dated a few steroid-head gym rats and took all sorts of stuff to lose weight. Freely pretends to be this virginal princess. If someone wants to fuck half of Sydney's steroid-fueled bodybuilding community, then that's their choice, just be open about it. So clearly he's saying that Freely has done this. So here he's saying Freely would be a broke stripper if it weren't for him. And there's tons and tons of examples of this, I'm just showing a few. Here he says Freely got passed around the steroid heads and that she was like a gym bicycle. And here's Freely's brother saying that people on the outside don't realize how bad Harley is harassing his sister. He's also mentioning the SMS that I showed previously. And also gonna show more messages later in the series. So yeah, again, Isol bashing Freely is just more projections. Harley is the one that is bashing her.
And I left a comment on this guy's Facebook page. He's got like 5 followers. Instagram's got 2 followers. And I said, you know, if you're so tough, if you want to fight me, come to my Q&A and bring your pedo mate.
He went to JK's profile, Jake Eames, and said, "Good work on defending a pedophile, mate." Jake replied to this, accusing someone of being a pedophile without having any proof whatsoever. Kudos. Which is true. June Rider has no proof at all. Then June Rider replies, "Hey buddy, come fly over to Chiang Mai and confront me in person, or shut the fuck up and stop being a jealous little whining bitch." Again, that's what Jake said, and he replied, "You're a fucking cancer on the vegan community, mate. You will probably get knocked out this week by someone. Haha. I will send this video to a few of the lads and hopefully you end up on World Star Hip Hop." Whatever the fuck that means.
Now, World Star Hip Hop is a website that's infamous for posting videos of violent fights. Did you notice what else is on there though? Child abuse. This is exactly what he's accusing Isol of. Considering the level of projections Harley has, that is actually pretty scary.
He is threatening someone of the probably most pacifistic, nicest persons in the vegan movement, Jake Eames. I have nothing bad to say about him. And then he is threatening Jake Eames. Like, what the fuck are you even doing? And then going on someone else's profile who is so friendly and nice, Jake Eames, and then calling him all kinds of shit and threatening him with violence.
Why did he back down against me and instigate with Sam? For the same reasons that he backed down against me and then tried to instigate with Jake Eames. Durian Rider is a bully. Durian Rider is a coward. He only wants to punch people who are smaller than him.
So yeah, it's not only Isol Harley is threatening, he's also threatening people who support Isol.
I was frustrated, I was underslept, you know, I was a bit run down, and I am sorry. And the reason why I deleted it, because I looked back and thought that wasn't fair. Do I think this person's highly suspicious? Yes. Did this person email online, Facebook, etc., 16-year-old girl at my event? Yes. Did this person contact hundreds of females in my community and some young men? Yes.
He apologizes, but then goes on to continue to criticize Isol, continue to lie. He says things that talks about things that Isol promotes on his channel that he doesn't promote. Continues to paint him in a really negative light. So yeah, apology, not really apology video.
When I was called a pedo by Tana Mungjo.
So this is another lie that Harley presents as a fact. Tana actually never called him a pedo. She only called him a creep. This is a lie that Harley and Freely made up to get back at her for pointing out how pathetic the both of them were. Here's what she actually said.
Her boyfriend suddenly, when something was talking about me getting fucked, got interested because he's creepy. And was like, "Oh, what's that about?" And Freely was like, "Oh, it's a video where she talks about a guy spreading a rumor about her getting banged with a toothbrush." And he goes, "Oh, I'd love to see a live link of that. Send me that." Would you love to see a live link of me, a 17-year-old, getting fucked with a toothbrush? You're not creepy. You're not weird. When I'm a fucking 40-year-old man, I can't wait to watch live links of 17-year-olds getting fucked with toothbrushes. And the fact that he told his girlfriend that, and they were just like, "Ha ha ha, witty Australian banter." What the fuck is wrong with you? If I was dating someone and he was like well over the age of 30 and he made a comment about wanting to see a young girl getting fucked with a toothbrush, to me, that's when I would be like, okay, bye, but not Freely. That's her type.
Ooh, nice.
The thing is, Tana actually hit the nail on the head and they couldn't get back at her, so they had to create a lie. Here it is.
So what I really want to address in this video is these serious allegations of pedophilia towards my boyfriend. This totally disrespects and discredits all those poor boys and girls who are victims, legit victims of molestation and sexual abuse. And you should be really fucking ashamed of yourself for that. This is a very serious matter and should never be made a joke of.
Someone have said pedo as like a reference joke.
This is probably one of the worst things you have done, because I have friends who have been molested and it is fucking horrible, okay, what they went through. So for you to just make light of it and for you to just have the gall to involve my boyfriend in such a serious allegation is just disgusting, and it makes me lose all respect for you.
So this was a couple in their late 30s who creates a lie to get back at a teenager. Think about that one.
And you're asking teenage girls, where are you staying in Chiang Mai? Or you're saying people, you can come and stay with me, there's only one person per night per allowed. You can't bring a buddy. That's highly suspicious.
If that is what he did, then yes, that would be suspicious. But he didn't do that. The person who does it is Harley. So he's the suspicious one here.
So it's it's kind of akin to, like, you know, when people say, I'm not a racist, but, and then they say something totally racist. It's kind of like that. Like, I'm going to apologize, but really, guys, I mean, okay, what I did was, like, maybe kind of wrong, but seriously, this guy, I mean, he's, like, highly suspicious, as Harley says. So he's still, it's not an apology. It's really terrible.
He started the violence. Smash Duran is a piece of whatever.
He would lie about the order of events, claiming that I initiated violence against him when the exact opposite is true. He made threats of violence against me and then I had to deal with it.
So we have someone who's just come into the vegan world. Their first post, if you look at Google on top of their name in, was 2015, and it links to videos sledging us. Is this person a shill employed by Meat and Dairy?
Continue to call him a shill.
Either way, he's definitely a hater.
I don't have hate in my heart towards Durian Ryder and Freely as characters. I really don't. People who talk to me personally know that.
There's this allegations of domestic violence with his ex-wife.
He would lie about just things he made up out of thin air, claiming that I was a wife beater.
So this guy has lied to his audience over and over and over. He's refused to give any legit certification of his criminal history.
Claiming that I needed to provide legal proof that I was not a wife beater, although amusingly, by complete coincidence, I actually did provide him with a current criminal record check from Canada that related to the job I had lined up in China. I needed criminal background check to get that job, so I did actually have a fresh criminal record check.
There's a lot more to the story.
No, there's not a lot more to the story.
Why are you so hateful, man? Why can't you put your effort into helping the animals versus putting vegan against vegan or creating more drama, lies, etc.? Why can't you do that? Why not make something bigger than just bashing Duran Ryder freely? Why be so jealous or full of hate? Maybe you are a shill. Maybe you're getting paid by Meat and Dairy.
A lot of you asked me to do a thing. I did comment about it on Facebook. Durian Ryder, Harley, and his accusations, and a lot of people calling this drama, and I get it to some degree, but I don't. It's not. This isn't like someone broke up with someone. Let's gossip about it. Like this is actually something really serious and something that I think has serious implications and brings up some serious questions and ethical issues. One of the reasons I think I realized why I didn't want to do this, because I wasn't really shocked about what happened. It's almost like it's just Harley being Harley. Like this is just what Durian Ryder does. This is just what he's done for years now. You know, he's been lying about stuff. He's been taking criticism really, really poorly from people. He's been calling people fake vegans who don't agree with him.
These people aren't even fucking vegans. You're not a real vegan. You're here for weight loss, or This guy is not a fucking vegan. You're not a real vegan. You're not a fucking real vegan. You're just another anorexic eating disorder person who comes over, pretend you care about the animals. So I'm not going to eat that because I love animals. No. You don't want to eat that because you don't want to get fat. You don't give a fuck about the animals, really. At all. And it exposes you when you talk about your weight all the time. Do you want to eat 6 fucking kilos? You're a shit cunt. And you're not a real vegan. You're a fake vegan. You don't do it for their fucking animals. Again, you do it to make money, and you do it to fucking hide your eating disorder. You're not a real vegan, are you?
You're not. You're just a pseudo-vegan. And it's a good thing you're eating vegan, but don't pretend that you're more than what you are. But that's what I hate about the vegan movement. I just thought I'd tell you. Too many fucking self-entitled, first world problem, flakes, scammers, hustlers, jealous, fame whores, fame fucking assholes.
You're not a fucking vegan if you spend effort taking down the two most effective vegan activists on the planet ever.
This is ridiculous. This is like being a fake vegan that you're acting like this.
And this is the latest pitiable tactic employed by these two to try and control what other people say. You know how a few of us have been saying their main focus has become themselves and not so much the animals? I honestly never thought they'd go as far as to reclaim the word vegan to make it about them instead of animal welfare. But apparently you can't be a real vegan if you criticise them for things like slander, threats of violence and copyright theft. So they seem to have the rejection of animal products confused with the veneration of tyrants. I do think veganism still means the former.
His actions, his continual lies, I think he's a bad person. It's like, yep, that's what he does. That brings up whole other issues. You know, someone who is so well known within the vegan community and tied to someone who is even more well known freely, you know, and endorsed by her in a very real way, who constantly lies. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. You know, I'm all for second chances, but like at what point, where do we draw the line? At what point is enough? You know, at what point do we say, wow, maybe we want to distance ourselves from this person, you know? There are a lot of us who say, no, this is not okay. I don't care if you're vegan. This is not acceptable behavior. Period. That's it. End of sentence.
First of all, I just want to point out again that Harley is not a vegan. I haven't gotten to that part yet, but I will. And I also want to say to all non-vegans that are watching this that most vegans don't think this behavior is acceptable. Unfortunately, Harley has brainwashed a ton of people that makes us all look bad, but hopefully most of them will wake up when they see these videos.
In the end, June Rider's made a massive tit of himself, to the point where even VeganGains has said, June Rider, like, you've lost here, time to just say you're sorry.
Richard, aka VeganGains, went out and just, boom, just threw me under the bus.
He's having a total mental breakdown because VeganGains said, just apologise.
Just fucking apologize, dude.
I think there is more chance of me flying to the moon and back than there is of him ever apologizing for what he's done. I know that VeganGains sort of did a video saying that, you know, Harley, you should just apologize and say sorry, but that is not going to happen. There is no way that he is ever going to admit that he's wrong, because his ego is just the size of freaking Jupiter. He has the world's biggest ego right now. He cannot admit he's wrong. And even if he does, it's probably just going to be a troll video, so don't expect any kind of apology.
So after apologizing, he went straight back to doing the exact same thing he was apologizing for.
I do feel like the one comment where you had called Aysel Mazard a pedophile, I do feel like if you hadn't made that statement, this whole summer could have looked a lot different. I really do believe that.
It was good, man. It gave us a lot of publicity and eventually exposed what a fraud this motherfucker is, and what a sleazebag and what a sexual predator he is.
Do you really genuinely believe that?
100%, in my opinion. He's just like one of those manipulative fucks.
Narcissists tend to actually literally use that phrase often. Crazy, bipolar, addict, alcoholic, bad parent, narcissist, highly manipulative, neglectful parent.
You know, negative.
Listen, I think he's manipulative. I think it's possible he's a misogynist. I think it's possible that, he's apparently has a domestic abuse case with his wife. I'm not convinced that he's a sexual predator and that he was trying to fuck Julia Bohr. I'm not convinced of that. But is that what you're saying? Is that really what you're telling us?
That's my hunch. That's my hunch. I would rather, being the teacher, having an event that attracts a lot of young women, I would rather err on the side of caution than something to happen. People say, hey, look, June Rider, you let that happen. I'll do what I have to do to protect the scene.
This whole controversy is like an IQ test. for the vegans watching it. What everyone should pick up on is the miscellaneous nature of these accusations. If the problem was that I was a pedophile, and I say back to Jeremiah, okay, let's meet at the police station, because he originally said he had criminal charges against me, that he wanted me to be arrested. And I said, okay, meet you at the police station. Why did he back down from that? He backed down from it because it was a lie. There never was a legitimate reason to think I was trying to get with teenage girls. There never was a legitimate reason to think I was a pedophile. And there also has never been a legitimate reason to think I was a wife beater.
Durian Ryder has defamed me, threatened me, and invited others to assault me. Originally, he was saying he wanted other people to beat me up so they could abduct me and take me to the police station. When I responded to that by offering to meet him at the police station, I said, look, if you've actually got criminal charges of me, let's go to the police station and let's see the evidence and let's go to court. Fine, arrest me. I'm not avoiding arrest. And of course, he suddenly lost interest in going to the police or what have you. And, you know, he dropped the pretense of wanting to beat me up in order to take me to the police to face justice or to be arrested. And he then instead switched to just saying he wants to beat me up for the sake of beating me up.
I would fuck him down Isel, man. I would fucking hunt him down for a friendly Muay Thai street fight match. I would fucking hunt him down.
This is what it comes to. Threatening to beat someone up, threatening to kill someone, defaming someone as a sex predator. You know, it's so low. And again, it's not really about me or my feelings or my ego. This is so shameful for veganism.
Isel, let's go and fucking fight in the ring. And I'm going to crack both your fucking legs in half, cunt.
The last reply I got from Durian Ryder before I blocked him on Facebook, which ended the discussion, the last message I got from him was, "So sue me then." And he follows it up with a curse word. I don't want to take Durian Ryder to court, but I will. Of flattering these people, of making up excuses for these people after it's happened one time after another. Who's been drawing the line and saying, no, here's the line, here's what's over the line? I have been. That's why they hate me so much.
And if I'm in prison, I'm going to train up every motherfucking day and go and find them and show them a newfound Muay Thai fitness. No doubt about it.
Durian Ryder has been threatening me with violence. Legally speaking, he's now guilty of defamation, uttering threats, i.e. uttering threats of violence, and inciting violence. And all of those are real crimes.
So Harley continued to lie about the situation and pretended that he had only called Isel a creep in a Facebook comment.
You can't go to prison for calling someone a creepy motherfucker on Facebook who contacts 16-year-old girls randomly. You can't get someone arrested for a Facebook comment. In what magical court can you prosecute someone for something they wrote on Facebook? Which magical court is this? You can't put someone in prison for a Facebook comment.
You can, and there's a lot of examples of it. It's just one search away on this very website, YouTube. Just search it, and there's videos about it.
People like to think that what they do and say online doesn't matter. Cameron D'Ambrosio. He was arrested without bail for posting terroristic threats. Mark Byron, venting his frustrations on Facebook. The rant called his soon-to-be ex-wife an evil, vindictive woman. His wife found out about the post and reported it. USA Today reported that Byron was found in contempt, 60 days in jail. Paula Asher. She later posted about it on her Facebook. As a result, she was found in contempt of court and was sentenced to 2 days in prison. Justin Carter. He followed his post with another saying he was just kidding. He was arrested and faced felony terrorism charges.
So again, the Dunning-Kruger effect is strong with Harley.
I would have loved to go to prison. Do you know how much fucking publicity internationally I would have gotten, man? Fucking, can you imagine? Someone goes to prison in Thailand on a Facebook comment.
I can't believe any of you people respect someone as a leader who brags that he's been to prison.
I've been around the block a few times, been on the sun 38 times now, been in prison, hanging out with all the hustlers and scammers.
I've lived on the street, spent a little bit of time in prison. I've been stabbed before, been in prison before. I've had so many fights, I've been in prison before. It's no big deal to me.
Is he trying to use prison as a, hey, I went to prison, as like, is he using that? I'm trying to think, to his followers, to the diddly writers, they're like, yeah, our leader's been in prison. Ugh, where's your leader been?
Going to prison doesn't mean you're tough. Spending time in prison doesn't make you tough.
Now here's something interesting. Joey Carpstrong, who used to be Harley's friend, revealed a little something about these prison stories.
I've already been in jail, bro. I ain't going back. It's funny that he said he's not scared of going back to prison. I think he did 1 day in juvie for doing a graffiti tag or something. He did 1 day in juvie. It's pretty funny. I'm not scared of going back to prison.
I've been to jail. I'm not scared of going back. Why say that, dude? You've never done jail. You're a known rat, and you're an actual informant for the police. You're not a prison. Just be who you are, man. Be who you are. Don't pretend like you're someone not.
Don't pretend that you're more than what you are.
Freely's brother has also revealed again and again that Harley has never been to prison. And you would think he knows, as his sister has almost spent a decade with Harley.
I can't believe any of you people respect someone as a leader who brags that he's been to prison, and he was a grown man, insults another grown man by saying he's fat.
There's this fat dude called Isel.
Dr. Evil, a Bachelor Seal, or whatever the fuck his YouTube name is, that overweight, beer-drinking person. You got my email, you fat chop. You're still moon-faced, you're still bitter, and you're still fucking out of shape.
Like that. We got like a fat, overweight drunkard.
And who says that? A fat motherfucker. Some fat fuck called Isel says that.
I want to see Isel get his fat ass down to the court. He's just a greasy, happy meal-faced, fat-wristed maggot. He's just a fat, slimeball scammer. Because you're a jealous fat fuck. This Dr. Evil, Isel, rich boy, fat slob.
Again, criticizes the way he looks because Harley wouldn't be Harley if he didn't criticize someone's weight or the way they look. He can't help himself.
He refused to speak to me any other way. He refused to meet me face to face, and he refused to talk to me by Skype or what have you.
I've even emailed Isel about 5 times saying, hey, just letting you know, this is my main email address, this is my private one. I check it every few hours. No emails, man. The dude's a fraud.
And let's be clear, Durian Ryder didn't just defame me and slander me. He never stopped defaming me and slandering me. He's continued to make new videos about me, defaming me, slandering me, misrepresenting what happened just a few months ago in Chiang Mai, misrepresenting what he did, when he did it, why he did it.
Now, because of all of this, Isel naturally decided to sue Harley, and he created a fundraiser to raise money for the legal costs.
I'm coming on YouTube to ask you to donate some money. I'm asking for a few $1,000s in total, so that I can follow through with the promise that I made on this channel to take Durian Ryder to court. Take a stand against the use of violence and defamation within veganism. He's taken the name of veganism and he's dragged it through the mud. And he's taken the name of a long list of individuals and dragged those names through the mud as well. My name is only one. He's done it to me. He's done it to others. He's done it before. He's going to do it again. And even now, even when he makes videos that supposedly apologize for one or two things, in those same videos, in those same few minutes, he's making up new lies, new malicious statements, new slander. On some level, we all know this game is not going to stop until we force it to stop. Because we've all seen him playing the same game for years. It's a game that's had terrible, devastating consequences for some of the individuals whom he's targeted. But worse than that, and more generally, it's discredited veganism itself. I'm asking you to donate money so that Durian Ryder will be legally accountable for the crimes that he's committed, and that most of you have seen that he's committed with your own eyes. And you watching this video, most of you now, have seen enough of the evidence to know that none of those allegations had any basis in fact. But my boss, the people who've hired me to start a job here in China in a few months, will they know that? In many cases, social change only happens when good people stand up and demand it. And this evil that we've all witnessed together happened because for so long, good people stood by and did nothing.
Isel actually raised the money in less than 24 hours. And what did Harley do? Continue to lie.
This guy here, Basil, and he blinks a lot. His blink rate is high. Is he lying? So I went to the top comment, the newest comment, please explain where the $6,500 went. Let's see what Eisel said about that. Let's have a look. No responses, but he does check his comments every few hours.
How can Harley possibly know how often Eisel checks his comments?
And that Eisel motherfucker, you stole $6,500. He stole the $6,500. He scanned people. And shows no proof at all. No proof. No proof. He took that $6,500 and ran with it. And that guy scammed $6,500 from his audience. That motherfucking Dr. Evil fucker, he got the money and ran. Nothing's happening, you got ganked. Say Eisel Mazar did another fat scamming hustler who stole $6,500 off his audience. Well, maybe there's a real lawsuit. There isn't. It's a scam. Stole $6,500 off his GoFundMe patrons and Patreon.com patrons. He stole $6,500 US and he put up a bogus lawsuit against me. Eisel Mazar, it's a hustler. That Eisel, Dr. Evil dude, he stole that money. That money got stolen. But it felt good that all my haters donated to your KFC fund, to your Chinese hookers. And there's nothing wrong with being a hooker. I've got friends with hookers, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's where the money went. That's where the money went. Everyone knows Eisel's just a dirty weasel. So he scammed his Patreon account users and he scammed these people.
Do you think that it's possible there may be charges looming? Whether you love it or not, what do you think? Do you think it's bullshit or not bullshit?
It's 100% bullshit. Taking people's money for various reasons, Patreon, asking for donations, Dr. Evil, $6,500. He got $6,500 US to put Durand in prison, took that money, ran, showed no receipts, showed some like bogus receipt from a lawyer that says, I'm suing Durand. It's like, Durand's not even a fucking legal name. So I got all this nonsense and other YouTubers got behind him and donated money, but he took the money and ran. Then you do a scam, a money scam, and you lie and hide your past and all that stuff. People get mega disappointed, you know? It's just a bit like those guys who, like Lance Armstrong, I don't do drugs, and then boom, does drugs. But when you get caught doing them, when you're busted, then you're fucked. So when you say, I don't lie, I'm an honest person, then you lie straight up, you're still $6,500, you're done. You're forever finished. Your reputation's always tarnished. People always bring it back to you on social media. End of the line.
The irony. Now this next segment is absolutely jaw-dropping. But you have to have watched part 2 to like fully appreciate it. So pause this video, watch part 2 if you haven't, and then continue watching.
And someone has cancer and they're raising money, but you don't want to give any money to them. No, you won't do that. You'll give money to put Durand in prison. Let's give money to some motherfucking scammer. You let people die from cancer when you could raise money for them, but you don't really give a fuck. But I'm disappointed that all you motherfucking haters couldn't save someone's life and give them money.
So Harley claimed Jen was a scammer and told people not to donate. And now he's shaming people for not donating. Incredible.
That sense of entitlement's often seen then, and it's often just absolutely jaw-dropping how they just expect to get away with their behavior and they have no problem with it.
Anyway, with this kind of defamation, you know, if you're saying that I lie to people on the internet in a fundraiser, that impacts my ability to do fundraisers in the future. And for veganism as a movement, I really would like to do fundraisers in the future. I don't see how they can fail to realize the seriousness of this kind of defamation. So one of the questions I had from my lawyer, I said, look, let me know, when is the first time that we have paperwork back from Durian Ryder, you know, that proves that he's aware that this is a real case. Now, almost everyone who ever doubted it was a real case now already knows it's a real case. If they asked me or they asked to see legal documents. I've shared legal documents with various people, including the one professional journalist who covered the story to my knowledge. They emailed me and I gave them legal documents. So everyone who wanted to know knows that it's legit and it's real. But Durian Ryder has continued to pretend that either this isn't a real court proceeding or that to his knowledge it is not a real court proceeding. As of November 2016, we got paperwork back. We got paperwork back from Durian Ryder and or his lawyers. So it is a fact. I think he knew many months before, but at the absolute latest, in November of 2016, Durian Ryder absolutely knew that the court case was real and the legal proceedings against him were real and ongoing.
Eisel, Dr. Weasel, the schemer. Show it, man. Show it on your YouTube channel. Show us receipts. Show us the actual receipts. Yeah, go talk to the lawyers on camera. You won't, because you're a scammer. This has been like 8 months, man. You're a scammer. Show us receipts. Eisel, you're a good scammer, and all the Eisel fans, you got scammed. Sucked in.
I do not think he's intellectually capable of handling the situation he's already in. I'm looking at somebody who doesn't want to admit to himself that I've been telling the truth and that he's been lying. And he is so deep into his own self-deception that he doesn't want to accept that it's real. He doesn't want to deal with it.
In clinical psychology, there's obviously lots of different features in it. I did business clinical psychology and stuff like that. But here we're really seeing Durian Ryder having severe psychological issues.
There is just no reason to think that Durian Ryder's story about this court case is more credible than his story about my sleeping with a whole bunch of women in Quebec when I was living an enormous distance away from Quebec. I think we really need to replace a culture of conspiracy theory thinking with a culture of sincere engagement.
And of course, Harley continued to threaten Eisel and try to scare him from going to Chiang Mai for the court case. I guess that's what he's trying to do. Saying that the lads are waiting for him if he goes to Chiang Mai, and of course brings up the World Star Hip Hop thing again, saying that the lads want some blood, nobody gives a fuck if blood is spilled, lying about the situation, saying that Eisel is trying to destroy the festival, although it had nothing to do with that, saying that he wouldn't be surprised if Eisel woke up in a hospital, claiming that he's not the aggressive type. We know that's a lie from part 1. Saying he wouldn't be surprised if Eisel got stabbed or bashed, and still claiming that he's exploiting women, which still is a projection. Still claiming that the court case is fake. The thing is, the court case is going on these days. I think the next hearing is in the beginning of next month, in July.
There it is, Chiang Mai Provincial Court. Just about to go in and have my hearing, have my day in court.
Right. So this is right. So these are some of the Facebook comments translated from. Right. So this is from his blog. Right. Translated from English into Thai. Oh, so this is a translation of what he said during the video.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. So this is how it goes into court.
Yeah. Everything.
All right. Cool.
You see the witness, yourself, and also the paper.
Okay. Great.
This is the Simon to send it to him.
Even after all this, Harley is trying to make it about something. It's not saying that Eisel is trying to take down his event, which has nothing to do with anything.
My event is in threat. There's a few people who want it taken down. He came to Chiang Mai last year, and he made a. We had the youngest girl in my event last year. She came to my event. She was maybe 16, underage if you're talking about Australian standards. And she came to my event. She felt very threatened by this individual. And she told me, so I said, I gave the Durian Ryder hard word to this guy and told him to fuck off, etc. And now he's trying to put me in prison. These are people who just want to live a permanent vacation lifestyle. They're not here for any social justice, or they're more there for narcissistic justice. And some people who just come, they're almost like shills. Aren't they? They're just like fucking shills. And I tell you what, man, there's some local Thai people, they know what you look like. And they know what you're trying to do. So if you come to Chiang Mai and you get fucked up one day, this year, next year, who knows, but
Constantly making videos, trying to manipulate the situation.
Last year I put on a festival. We had this 40-year-old creep bag turn up to Chiang Mai and approach an underage girl who was at my festival, and just, she wrote to me and said, I feel really unsafe. This guy's asking where I'm staying, how long I'm staying for, who I'm staying with. She said, I feel really, really unsafe. And then some people, started trolling on his Facebook page under my name and stuff. And I said some stuff. I can't recall exactly what I said.
Oh, can't recall exactly what he said. Well, good thing I have it all here documented in this video.
Anyway, so this guy's made it out that I was trying to call him a pedophile.
No. Harley did call him a pedophile. That's not something Eisel made out.
And in my opinion, his behaviour was of pedophile nature. Is he a pedophile or not? We don't know. He looks fucking dodgy as fuck. He travels through Southeast Asia. He's a 40-year-old approaching teenage girls who don't approach him. He's approached them. So if people approach me, I never approach random teenage girls.
Yes, he does.
That's just like fucking really, in my opinion, predatory, pedophilic behaviour, in my opinion. Anyway, so if it ever went to court, I mean, if it was a serious case, a serious trial, if it wasn't anything more than just some fat, bald, fucking desperate dude who can't pull chicks in Canada, so he comes to Southeast Asia to exploit the girls who don't know what he's on about. And if you're some creep bag who comes to my event to prey on women, I'm going to call you out in public.
And I'm going to call you out, Harley, in public. It's good that we're on the same page here.
And it's not going to happen on my watch. And if I have to go to prison for it...
Still manipulating, trying to like make it out that he would go to prison for protecting girls, which is not the case.
And come back out and then hunt you the fuck down, then so be it. Because I won't tolerate that bullshit on my watch.
Still making threats of violence.
And he came to my event last year and said to a couple of people at Mayo, like, you're not scared of Harley, I'd fight him. She contacted me, another girl contacted me, saying they were quite distraught and stressed and in fear.
So what did Isel say to Julia?
Where you staying, who you staying with, stay with me, all this stuff. And I just thought, fuck this, I'm not going to have a Jack Francis event at my Jack Francis situation at my event again. For those who don't know, Jack Francis sexually assaulted a couple of vegans.
I've actually seen the emails that went back and forth between Julia and Isel Mazard. And and the first one is just like, so you're going to Chiang Mai this year. Do you think he was like a sexual predator towards Julia or something?
If you're a 42-year-old man in Thailand who's come from nowhere, nobody knows who you are, you've just turned up to Chiang Mai to cause trouble.
But the messages he sent were just like so innocent. It's just like,
I don't care. That's how predators start, bro. Yeah, no pedophile just walks up and like they gain trust and all stuff like that. You know, no sexual predator does. You know, when they're dealing with kids, they build their trust first.
Do you know that the court case is real now? Do you admit that it's a real thing that's going on? Do you know that there is a court case against you now?
No, I don't know. And after she told him to fuck off, he routinely kept contacting her, harassed her. And why he's banned from Canadian vegan groups for harassing women.
I don't know that Julia said that wasn't the case. That's not what happened.
What was not what happened?
Like, she said that he didn't contact her after these 3 emails I have in front of me.
He keeps harassing, trying to play little mind games in a 16-year-old girl. Like, what 40-year-old does that?
Do you think he would have known how old she was?
That's like someone walking into a fucking brothel and fucking an underage girl and saying, "Oh, I didn't know how." Like, you know, it's not a valid excuse.
To add to that, of course, my boyfriend didn't know how old you were because you dress and look way older than you actually are. Then you try and pull out the, oh, I'm just an innocent 17-year-old minor card.
He knows everything on everybody. He would know how old she is.
So how do you know that he doesn't pay child support or whatever that thing was?
So I spoke to his wife for a couple of hours.
How do you know that was his wife, though?
Because she showed because I could see her face.
You could see her face?
Yeah.
So Harley can just see a face and he knows that this face belongs to Isel's wife?
What was the thing with Canada? How he was like sleeping with people and he got kicked out of the group or something?
Yeah, I'm not sleeping with people. People don't want to fuck this fat grease ball unless they're hookers. He was just harassing women and young girls at a Canadian vegan potluck and online. So this is a guy, in my opinion, who's a predator in a bad way. He's not just like some hornbag like Joe Best trying to get some pussy. He's just...
So Harley doesn't only know Isel's intentions, he knows Joe Best's intentions too. Obviously, these are all projections.
And he just doesn't deserve any place in the community.
I disagree. I think Harley is the one that doesn't deserve any place in this community.
Alright, do you want to say anything else in this in this video before I finish it?
I would say that there was a girl who was sexually assaulted by Jack Francis early last year, or 2015. It was one of the late 2015. It's a 40-year-old fucking creeper who travels around the world, lives in Southeast Asia, because he can't deal with real women in other parts of the world who can sniff out his bullshit.
Where did he, I think you might have addressed this, but where did he get the idea that you contacted teenage girls online?
I pointed out to him then, like, what is the meaning of the word contacted? On my YouTube channel, I have an interview with an 18-year-old university student about political activism. I hate to sound boring, but when I talk to teenagers, I tell them to stay in school and stay out of jail. And Durian Rider says the opposite. He's telling teenagers to drop out of school.
I want to drop out of high school to follow my interests, but my parents are reluctant, and it's super annoying. What do? Just do it. Well, I would say fuck school, fuck university. Parents can't force you to go to university. No one can force you to go to high school, bro. How many people got put in jail because they pulled out of high school? No one. So I'd tell your parents you're doing something else. And stop being a whiny little bitch when your parents say well otherwise. University? 2017? Like, fuck, man. Like,
Question of the day is, university, should I go to university? I would say no. I would say university is a waste of time. I would say university college is a fucking waste of time. I would say drop out today. Following the tips in my book, carve the fuck up, versus a university degree, PhD in what? Who gives a fuck?
He's telling teenagers to drop out of school and do a lot of things that can put you in jail. So I mean, I'm not ashamed of the communications I've had with teenagers. Again, some of them on my YouTube channel. Totally above board. So, have I contacted teenagers? What is the meaning of the word contacted? This is a ridiculous allegation. Now, beyond that, Durian Rider himself contacts teenagers all the time. He has a much younger following than I do. I mean, if you see my channel, my stuff is not aimed at a teenage audience. And a lot of his stuff is. I don't think there's anything inherently evil about, an adult talking to younger children. Unfortunately, I do actually think Durian Rider's advice is pretty terrible when he talks to younger people. You can see that for yourself, and you can draw your own conclusions. But no, I mean, the nature of the allegation to begin with was intentionally vague and obfuscatory and evasive. So, what do you mean contacting teenagers? Had I contacted any teenagers in Chiang Mai? No. I'd only been in Chiang Mai for 2 days or possibly 3 days when he made the allegations. So the number of people I'd talked to was incredibly small. But it was just like the whole thing was just a set of inherently implausible allegations, made in this over-the-top manner, that he was going to beat me up, take me to a police station, and then if the police failed to be appropriately brutal, they would brutalize me themselves.
Some of the people closest to Harley right now and over the last few months are either on the fence or like tipping over it, to really not agreeing with him, or fully against him, but he's not fully aware of all that. So and that's been the main catalyst. The main catalyst was Eisel, doing the court case and that kind of thing, and just not backing down. So huge kudos to Eisel.
They won't stop until they annihilate you. You know the root of the word annihilate? It's Latin. It means reduce to nothing.
I'm not afraid of you. You're not going to bully me into silence like you've done to everybody else.
projection. If you're gonna do sleazy shit, projection. That's projection. Ooh, suspicious attention-fueled attention that you get. Projection, Durin Rider. That's boom projection. Doesn't mean we hate you, projection. Projection.
My lifestyle or whatever.
Projection. And projection, everyone.
You can get one lawsuit or one copyright claim or one fucking person that you ever helped and they just fucking spit in your face.
Oh, Jane Ryder. How many people are you putting copyright claims against and try to take down their channel? Try and pretend to be nice people. Projection. And you talk about my community again. Brilliant. But it's your community. What is your community? Veganism. Oh, you own veganism. Well done.
People have jealousy, or they have ego, or they have like this, like they want to be loved, or they want.
Oh, projection.
You're just a gutless fuck who's jealous of me.
Projection.
Just call cunts out. Rather than not cunts out, call them out. It's a lot better. It's a lot more effective. More people can see it. More people can benefit from it. And now social media, boom. You can put it.
Oh, this is projection. So this is him saying, yeah, we can call people out. This is the problem, Jane Ryder. People are calling you out.